You are standing in the grocery store aisle. You are holding 2 jars of peanut butter. One is a brand name you know and love. It costs $5.49. The other is a generic store brand. The label looks like it was designed in a Soviet prison. It cost $4.99. You stand there for 30 seconds weighing the decision. You look at the price per ounce. You calculate the 50-cent difference. You think about your budget. You think about being responsible. Finally, with a sigh of virtuous self-denial, you put the brand name back and put the generic jar in your cart. You saved 50 cents. You feel a tiny hit of dopamine. You tell yourself, I am good with money. I am here to tell you that you are not good with money. You are mathematically illiterate. You just spent 30 seconds of your finite life energy and a massive amount of cognitive bandwidth to save an amount of money that inflation will eat before you even reach the checkout counter. This is the disease of the middle class. It is a pathology called the budget mindset. It is the belief that the path to wealth is paved with coupons, skipped lattes, and generic peanut butter. It is the belief that you can shrink your way to greatness. My name is Brock, and today we are going to expose the budget paradox. We are going to look at the brutal math of why counting pennies guarantees you will lose dollars. We are going to explore the psychology of scarcity versus abundance. And I am going to show you why the richest people in the world don't have budgets, they have targets. Let's start with the fundamental flaw of the budgeting philosophy. It violates the laws of physics. In finance, there are 2 variables you can control: income and expenses. Expenses have a mathematical floor. You can only cut your spending so much. You can stop drinking coffee. You can sell your car. You can move into a smaller apartment. You can eat rice and beans. But eventually, you hit zero. You cannot spend less than zero. In reality, you cannot spend less than the cost of basic survival without dying. Your upside to cutting costs is capped. It is finite. The most you can save is 100% of your income, and that is impossible. Income, on the other hand, has no ceiling. There is no mathematical limit to how much money you can make. You can double your income. You can triple it. You can 10x it. The upside to earning is infinite. The budget paradox is this. Most people spend 90% of their mental energy trying to optimize the variable with the capped upside expenses and 10% of their energy on the variable with the infinite upside income. They are playing a game they cannot win. They are trying to win a race by running slower than everyone else, hoping that the other runners die of exhaustion. It is a defensive strategy in an offensive world. In the Stone Age, hoarding was a survival strategy. If you had a pile of nuts and berries, you guarded them. You rationed them. You didn't know when the next kill would come. Scarcity was the default setting of the world. So, evolution wired your brain to be a miser. It wired you to fear loss more than you desire gain. But we do not live in a scarcity environment anymore. We live in an abundance environment. There is more money printing, more capital flowing, and more opportunity available right now than at any point in human history. By acting like a caveman guarding a pile of rotting berries, you are missing the mammoth walking right past your cave. Let's talk about the latte factor. This is the most pervasive lie in personal finance. You have heard it a million times from the gurus on TV. They say, if you stop buying that $5 latte every day and invest that money in 40 years, you will be a millionaire. This is technically true, but practically useless. It is spreadsheet truth, not real-world truth. Here is why. Willpower is a battery. It is a finite resource. Every time you deny yourself something, every time you walk past the coffee shop and say no, every time you choose the bad peanut butter, you drain that battery. You are expending executive function. By the time you get to work, you have depleted your willpower, resisting a muffin. Now you have a salary negotiation with your boss, or you have a high-stakes meeting, or you have the opportunity to pitch a new idea, but you are tired. Your brain is fatigued from the micro-decisions of frugality, so you stay quiet. You don't ask for the raise. You don't pitch the idea. You saved $5 on the coffee, but you lost $5,000 on the raise you didn't get. You lost $50,000 on the promotion you were too timid to seize. This is the cognitive tax of budgeting. There was a famous study done on sugarcane farmers in India. These farmers are poor for most of the year, but rich after the harvest. Researchers tested their IQs before the harvest when they were broke, and after the harvest when they had money. The result was terrifying. When the farmers were poor and stressing about money, their functional IQ dropped by 13 points. That is the equivalent of losing an entire night's sleep. Scarcity makes you stupid. When you are obsessed with counting pennies, your brain tunnels, you lose peripheral vision. You cannot see the big picture. You cannot see the strategic moves. You are playing checkers while the rich are playing 4D chess. The rich do not obsess over $5 purchases. They obsess over $50,000 decisions. Ramit Sethi, a modern financial thinker, asks a brilliant question. Are you asking $3 questions or $30,000 questions? A $3 question is, should I buy this coffee? Should I cancel Netflix? Should I buy the generic cheese? A $30,000 question is, am I in the right career? Did I negotiate my starting salary? Is my asset allocation correct? Do I have a side business? If you get one $30,000 question right, you can buy all the lattes you want for the rest of your life. If you get the $30,000 questions wrong, if you are in a dead-end job, or you bought too much house, or you drive a car, you can't afford, no amount of skipped coffees will save you. You can cut coupons until your fingers bleed, and you will still be broke. Let's apply the 80-20th rule, the Pareto principle, to your finances. 80% of your spending results come from 20% of your expense categories. For most people, the big three expenses are housing, transportation, and food. Usually, housing is 30 to 40%, transportation is 15%, and food is 15%. That is 70% of your money right there. If you optimize these three things, if you live in a house you can easily afford, you drive a car that is paid off, and you optimize your grocery strategy, you have won the game. You don't need to budget the rest. You can spend money on clothes, drinks, and hobbies guilt-free because the big rocks are in place. But the budget mindset tells you to focus on the trivial. It tells you to worry about the cable bill. It tells you to turn down the thermostat to 62 degrees and freeze in your own home to save $20 a month. It makes you miserable. And when you are miserable, you eventually snap. You enter the binge purge cycle. You budget strictly for 3 months, feeling deprived. Then you explode. You go on a shopping spree. You buy a boat. You blow up the budget. Then you feel guilty and you go back to restriction. It is a diet, and diets don't work. Lifestyle changes work. Let's talk about strategic extravagance. This is a concept the wealthy understand intimately. The budget mindset says spending is bad, saving is good. The wealth mindset says spending is a tool. There are times when spending money actually makes you money. If you spend $3,000 on a course to learn a new skill that raises your income by $10,000 a year, that is not an expense. That is an investment with a 333% return. If you spend $500 on a suit that gives you the confidence to close a $100,000 deal, that suit was free. If you spend $200 a month on a house cleaner so that you can spend those 4 hours working on your side business, you are buying time. You are engaging in arbitrage. You are paying someone $20 an hour so you can earn $100 an hour. The penny pincher looks at the house cleaner and says, I can't afford that. I can clean my own toilet. It's free. It's not free. It costs you your time. And if you value your time at zero, the market will agree with you. You need to view yourself as the CEO of You Inc. Imagine a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Imagine if he spent his entire day walking around the office, counting paper clips, turning off lights, and yelling at employees for using too much printer toner. What would happen to the stock price? It would tank. Why? Because while the CEO is saving $10 on paper clips, he is missing the market shift. He is failing to innovate. He is failing to grow revenue. A CEO's job is capital allocation and growth. Your job, as the CEO of your life, is not to count paper clips. It is to allocate your resources, time, energy, money, into high-yield activities. Spending 2 hours on a Saturday cutting coupons to save $12 is a minimum wage activity. Spending 2 hours on a Saturday learning how to use artificial intelligence is a high-leverage activity. Let's look at the time value of money in the context of frugality. I have a friend. Let's call him Cheap Charlie. Charlie will drive 20 minutes out of his way to a gas station that is 10 cents cheaper per gallon. Let's do the math on Charlie's brilliance. He has a 15-gallon tank. He saves $1.50. He spent 40 minutes 20 there, 20 back, driving. He valued his time at roughly $2.25 an hour. This is poverty thinking. This is telling the universe, my life is worthless, my time has no value. I am willing to trade chunks of my existence for pocket change. When you act like your time is worthless, you project that energy to the world. Your boss sees it, your clients see it. You become the discount person, and discount people do not get premium prices. Now, let's talk about the danger of lifestyle creep versus income creep. The defenders of budgeting will say, "But Brock, if I don't budget, I'll spend everything I make." This is a valid fear, but the solution isn't to micromanage every transaction. The solution is reverse budgeting or pay yourself first. Instead of tracking every penny after you spend it, you allocate the money before you see it. You set up an automatic transfer the day your paycheck hits. 20% goes to investments. 10% goes to savings. The bills get paid automatically. Whatever is left over, that is yours. You can burn it, you can eat it, you can wear it. You don't need a spreadsheet. You don't need an app that yells at you for buying sushi. The math is already done. The future is secured. The rest is play money. This creates a psychological shift from restriction to freedom. You are no longer looking at your bank account saying, "I can't." You are looking at your guilt-free pile saying, "I can." This keeps your abundance mindset intact. Let's go deeper into the psychology of the scarcity loop. When you constantly tell yourself, "I can't afford it," your brain stops looking for solutions. It shuts down. It accepts defeat. I can't afford the trip. I can't afford the car. I can't afford the investment. This phrase is a mental tranquilizer. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, suggests a simple linguistic shift. Never say, "I can't afford it." Ask, "How can I afford it?" This forces your brain to work. It forces you to problem solve. I want the $2,000 trip. I don't have the money. How can I get it? Can I sell something? Can I freelance? Can I work overtime? Can I create a product? Suddenly, the desire for the luxury becomes the fuel for your growth. The budget mindset kills the desire. It tells you to suppress the want. The growth mindset uses the desire as leverage to level up. The wealthy use their desires as targets. If a wealthy person wants a Ferrari, they don't look at their savings account and cry. They say, "I need to create a new asset that pays for the monthly lease on the Ferrari." They build a business, they buy a rental property, they create a cash flow stream. The Ferrari is just the trophy for the new asset. The desire for the toy made them richer, not poorer. Now, let's address the concept of deflationary technology. We are living in a time where technology makes things cheaper. TVs are cheaper, clothes are cheaper, food relative to history is cheaper. But the things that matter as it's land, education, healthcare, getting more expensive, this is asset inflation. Budgeting works for the deflationary stuff. You can budget for TVs, but you cannot budget your way into asset inflation. The price of assets is rising faster than you can save pennies. If housing prices go up 10% a year, and you are saving 5% a year by cutting coupons, you are technically saving money, but you are actually falling behind. The finish line is moving away from you faster than you are running. The only way to catch asset inflation is to increase your income velocity. You need big chunks of capital. You need chunks, not drips. A budget saves in drips. A side hustle, a business exit, a commission check, those are chunks. One chunk can erase 10 years of budgeting. I want you to imagine a hunter in the Paleolithic era again. There are two hunters. Hunter A stays in the cave. He spends all day counting his dried berries. He organizes them by size. He eats half a berry a day to make them last. He is safe, he is budgeting, but he is getting weaker. His muscles are atrophying. He is scared to leave the cave because he might lose a berry. Hunter B eats a handful of berries to get energy. He sharpens his spear. He leaves the cave. He walks into the dangerous forest. He tracks a deer. He takes a risk. He throws the spear. He brings back a feast. Hunter B didn't budget. He invested his energy into acquisition. Hunter A is starving slowly. Hunter B is feasting. Be Hunter B. So, how do we break the budget paradox? What is the tactical plan? Step 1. The audit. Look at your last 3 months of spending. Not to judge yourself, but to find the big rocks. Identify the recurring subscriptions you don't use. Kill them. That's easy. Identify the big 3. Housing, car, food. Are they optimized? If you are paying $800 a month for a car when you make $3,000 a month, sell the car. That is a strategic decision, not a budgeting decision. Step 2. Automate the defense. Set up your pay-yourself-first system. Investment, savings, bills. Make it automatic. Remove the human element. Remove the need for willpower. If the money never hits your checking account, you can't spend it. Step 3. The money dials. This is another Ramit Sethi concept. Identify the 1 or 2 things you love spending money on. Maybe it's travel, maybe it's health, maybe it's nice shoes. Maximize spending on those. Spend extravagantly on the things you love, and cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. If you don't care about cars, drive a 10-year-old Honda, but take the first-class flight if you love travel. This is conscious spending, not budgeting. It aligns your money with your values. Step 4. Switch to offense. Stop asking, how can I save $100 this month? Start asking, how can I make $1,000 this month? This changes your physiology. It changes your Google search history. Instead of searching for coupons, you search for freelance jobs. Instead of searching for cheap recipes, you search for salary negotiation scripts. The energy shifts from contraction to expansion. Step 5. Value your bandwidth. Treat your attention like gold. If a decision saves you less than $50, make it in under 30 seconds. If a decision saves you less than $5, don't make it at all. Just buy the thing. Save your brain power for the decisions that move the needle. Your brain is the asset. Do not depreciate it by using it as a calculator for pennies. The financial industry wants you to budget. They want you to feel small. They want you to feel guilty. Because guilty, small people put their money in interest savings accounts and are afraid to take risks. They want you to be a sheep that produces wool on a schedule. They don't want you to be a wolf. A wolf does not have a budget. A wolf has a territory. A wolf has a pack. A wolf has a hunt. When the wolf is hungry, he does not ration. He goes out and kills. Stop counting the berries. Go find the mammoth. The world is full of abundance. It is overflowing with money. It is waiting for you to stand up, stop looking at the ground, and grab it. The budget is a cage. The spreadsheet is a prison cell. You have the key in your pocket. It's called income. Unlock the door. Step outside. I'm Brock. Stop counting, start hunting. I'll see you in the next one.